Hey, you guys. This is Britta Alton, your friendly neighborhood children's director from Ringgold United Methodist Church. I am in an unusual spot again this week, but I was remembering earlier today a verse about praying in your closet that I was going to share with you guys. No, I'm in here. Please leave me alone. It's really hard to get alone time during quarantine, right? I'm going to turn the light up a little bit so I can share this verse with you. Can you see me okay? All right. Okay. So Pastor Chris this week is going to be talking about prayer and being centered in prayer. He's going to be focusing on some verses in Luke, and I'm excited that this week I'll go ahead and let you hear Evie read some of the verses Pastor Chris will be talking about this week. Go ahead, Evie.
Luke chapter 11, verses 9 and 10. So here's what I say to you. Ask and it will be given to you. Search and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. Everyone who asks will receive. The one who searches will find. And the door will be opened to the ones who knock.
Thank you so much, Evie. That was great. And I'm so excited. Evie's moving up to youth age right now, and a lot of you guys are getting ready to move up into a new grade at school, too. I'm really excited, and I'm praying for everybody because this is a school year like no other. This is beginning a school year like no other. Um, all right, let me get back to this Bible verse that I was thinking of. When I was newly married and much younger, I had a visit with my grandfather, and he asked myself and Kevin what we thought about this Bible verse that talks about praying in your closet. And he wanted to know if we thought it meant you had to go into a real closet. The Bible verse is from the book of Matthew. It's chapter 6, verse 6. I'm going to read it to you in the translation that my grandfather would have read it, which is a King James version. And it says, But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. There's a lot of thous and thys and things that kind of don't make sense until you hear it in kind of a more modern day version. The Bible that I most often read from says it like this: But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So these verses in Matthew are focused on not being boastful in front of people with how much you pray or how much you give to the church, but doing it in private. The verses that Pastor Chris is going to have read during this sermon time this week are going to be from the book of Luke, but they're also the account of the disciples being taught to pray the Lord's Prayer. And we know the Lord's Prayer, right? One of the links in this week's videos will be the Lord's Prayer that we've done as our kids together. I looked up and I wonder if any of you have a guess how many times prayer is mentioned in the Bible. I don't think you're going to guess. It's a lot. So depending on the translation, the word pray is in the Bible 121 times. But when you add prayer, praying, prayers, and all the different ways that you can say that, it is in there 375 times. That means prayer is mentioned in the Bible more times than there are days of the year. I think that tells us that it's really important. And because both of these books of the Bible, Matthew and Luke, talk about learning to say the Lord's Prayer, I would say that's a very important one for you to know. We know prayer is important. What do you think it is? Is that something that you just already know? That means talking to God? If you didn't know that already, it's really just a way to have a conversation with God. In addition to knowing the Lord's Prayer, I wanted you to know another little memory trick way of knowing how to remember the things that you can pray for. Do you have your hands? So if you'll hold up your hand has your fingers and your palm, right? So when you use your hand to remember how to pray, first of all, put your palm up. Give thanks for the gifts that you've been given, because when you're given something, you didn't get it by yourself. It was a gift to you. So giving thanks for what has been given to you is a great way to start your prayers. Then look at your thumb. It kind of points at you, and if you got somebody really close, you can say, I'm with these guys. So the thumb reminds you to pray for those that are close to you. Then you have your pointer finger, right? Your pointer finger can remind you that there are people in your life that point the way for you. I might be one of those people, Pastor Chris, your parents. So when you look at your pointer finger, remember to pray for the people who are pointing you along the right path. So then, when you have your hands up like this, there's one super tall finger. This is your index finger, and when you think of tall, important people in your life, it kind of reminds us to pray for those in leadership. That may be your pastor for your church, but it's also a reminder to pray for our country's leaders and all of the leaders around the world, that they would have wisdom and that they would help make the world a better place. Then you have this finger, and I don't know if you've ever tried, you can put fingers up, but this one, it can't even stand up without some help. This is your weakest finger. That's a great way to remember to pray for those who are weak, who might be hurting or in pain. So use that to remember to pray for those that are weaker right now. And then this last little finger is very important, but it's a little bit small and it comes after all the others. Just kind of as a way to remember to put others before yourself. But on this last finger, pray for your own needs, because God does want to hear that. Jesus definitely tells us in so many ways that praying for what we need is important. So do pray for yourself. Give thanks. Pray for those close to you. Pray for those who point the way. Pray for leadership. Pray for those who are weak or hurting. And pray for yourself. And it never hurts to give thanks again. I'll pray for you. You pray for me. And until we see each other again, I pray that you would be blessed. Take care.